Okay, so hi everyone. Thanks for joining us today. So during this presentation, we will discuss about various topics such as NoCode and how to integrate it into a complex software architecture. But before we dive in, let's present ourselves. So my name is Ben. I've been working as a software engineer for about 8 years now in various fields such as defense, medical, and in the space industry.
And hello, everybody. I'm Anthony. I'm product builder at GoJob for over 2 years. My role is to build automation and interfaces using no-code tools.
And as Anthony said, we both work for GoJob now. So what is GoJob? I will introduce the company in a few words. So GoJob is an HR platform. Its aim is to make the link between companies and candidates. So it's a French company, and we're starting to develop our business in the US 2 years ago. So our mission is to staff jobs instantly at scale and with care. And to do this, we rely on a strong tech team composed of software engineers, data analysts, data scientists, and a no-code team. And we're also part of the French tech. So during the rest of this presentation, we will discuss about real-life use case, the training sessions. So before starting to work in warehouses, some of our workers need to attend training sessions to meet the on-sites, visit the warehouse, check the safety policies, and so on. And booking this session is a time-consuming process because for each worker, the on-site need to check up to 5 prerequisites, such as the availability, the expiration date of the forklift certification, and so on. So it can take up to 15 minutes per worker. So what we will want to do, we will want to automate all our training session booking process, and we will do this using a chatbot solution. And what will be the goal vision? And if we automate everything, we will be able to book an unlimited amount of trainees instantly, because it is the chatbot who will be responsible to check all the prerequisites for us. So you can easily imagine the amount of time saved if you have thousands of trainees to book. So in what kind of software architecture are we going to work in? So we provide our end users, so the on-sites, a back office solution, which is a front-end app written in React. We also have different microservices. All of them are Nest.js applications. And we can contact these microservices using 2 main ways. The first one is using REST APIs. And the second one is using GraphQL. And we also use Apollo Federation. So for those of you who don't know what Apollo Federation is, it allows each service to define its own GraphQL schema. And it federates all of the schemas to generate a single endpoint for the back office. So in our case, the back office will be able to call the Apollo Federation gateway to query data without knowing which service the data belongs to. And Apollo Federation will redirect the query to the correct service. So for our chatbot solution, what exactly do we need? We need a reliable solution. We need an automatic conversation system. And since we are kind of new in this whole session booking process, we don't really know all the details yet. So we will have to iterate as fast as possible. So if we decided to develop everything with code solution, what we are used to, we would have a reliable solution, no problem with that. But we don't have any automatic conversation system developed yet. So developing this system would take like weeks or maybe months. So we won't be able to iterate as fast as we need to. And that's where the no-code kicks in.
Yes, that's Ben. Thanks to NoCode, we can meet these three conditions. With our NoCode stack and NoCode standards, we can build reliable solutions. One of the strengths of NoCode is to build quick, so we can build fast solution, do short iteration, and we can also learn and build at the same time. And as a NoCode team, we already have built an automatic conversation system. So before talk a bit about this automatic conversation system, I will talk about NoCode at GoJob. For us, our definition of NoCode is building automation and interfaces with the mouse instead of the keyboard. That means we use very visual interfaces and drag and drop system to build automations. One of our favorite automation tool, so NoCode tool, is Make. It's help us to connect different services each other. How Make works, it's really easy. We can define a trigger. In our example, the trigger is a webhook. And after that, we have a sequence of different actions. These actions call themselves each other with different data, path, and conditions. So why we use NoCode? As I say, it helps us to build quick solution. It helps us to iterate. And as we are in our tech team, the tech team of GoJob, we respect the same quality requirement as any other member of the tech team. So these three conditions help us to innovate with a great velocity. And in this context, I want to share with you Aglaé Alpha. Aglaé Alpha is our conversation system. It's way more than that because it's really our way to automate human interaction. For example, our staff at GoJob has many reasons every day to speak with candidates. And with Aglaé Alpha, depending the context, our staff has always the best candidate on the phone. So our work Aglaé Alpha. So for trigger Aglaé Alpha to start a conversation, Alpha need contextualized data. If we take our use case, they need data from our workers, so on the trainee, and they need data of the training session. So thanks to back office, we already have this data. So what we do, when we have this condition and we want to start a conversation, Alpha generates the first message. And after that, when we have an answer from the candidate, from the trainee, we can generate the next message of the conversation with the contextualized data and the information of the conversation. We also ask Alpha to understand when the conversation is ended. And when it's the case, we designed two behaviors. The first one is we want to enrich our worker profile. For example, when we get the address of a trainee in a conversation, we can take it and update it in our worker profile. And the second one, we can trigger some action. So we ask Alpha to understand the output of the conversation. For our use case, we want to know when if the trainee is available for a training session. So when it's the case, Alpha generates a status and we can trigger an action so we can book a trainee. We use ChatGPT, so OpenAI API, to generate all the messages of the conversation. And we use Make, as I presented before, to orchestrate all this.
Okay, so that was a lot, but now we will see how we can integrate this new Aglaé Alpha system into our software architecture. So for now, we have this new piece of software that is floating around in our architecture. It is not linked to anything yet. So every time Aglaé Alpha sends or receives a message, it is stored in a database, in our case, a PostgreSQL database. And we would like to be able, for example, to display into the back office the conversation between a worker and Aglaé Alpha, so that during the training session, the on-site could, for example, check the conversation and see see what were the messages. So to do this, the only thing we had to do was to create a new Nest.js application and link it to the same database for query purpose. And by exposing a GraphQL API, we ended up being able to query from the back office through the Apollo Federation Gateway to get the conversation and display them to the on-sites. So that's exactly what we wanted to do.
So what we had before, when we want to create an automation, a system, we have to talk with our back office. We didn't have any way to know what happened in our back office. If we take our use case, it was not possible to know when we had a new session. So we had to check at regular interval if we had new session. So we were in a kind of pull situation. And when we find a new session, we can trigger our automation and using an endpoint API to post data when we want to book a training.
Yeah, exactly. What Anthony just described, this pooling process, is also not efficient because it costs money, because you have to check at regular interval if a new session is created. And that's not something we want, because it also provides a delay, because when the session is created, the automation will start maybe 1 hour later. So we want, when we need, to get to find a way to for a service to notify another service. So, and we are used to do it in our software architecture. For this, we use Google Cloud PubSub. So just a brief introduction to what PubSub is. So each service share a common topic. And when a service publish a message into this topic, all the other services that subscribed to it are then notified and can trigger actions of their own. So it's exactly what we needed in our case. And since make.com is able to react to and to subscribe to PubSub and to publish message into a PubSub topic, that's exactly what we needed, and that's the tool we decided to use.
So now, thanks to PubSub, we can use our automation and think our automations act like a microservice. So if we go back in our use case, now when a new session is created in the back office publish a specific message in a PubSub topic, or automation, so make can listen PubSub topic, and when we have a new message, we can trigger an automation with all our contextualized data. After that, Alpha can do his work, so he can qualify the trainee. And at the end of the conversation, if we want to book a trainee, we can also post a message in the same PubSub topic, and the back office is also listening to this PubSub topic and can book the trainee after that. So it's really great to work that way, because we have a lot of benefits. We have only one way to speak to our back office now. So when we want to integrate a no-code microservice with back office, it's really easy now. We have an instant trigger solution, because when a new session is created, it triggers an automation. We do not have to wait a regular interval. And it's also more reliable, because we are more exigent in the building of our automations. So, and the building of the input and the output of our microservice. So it's really great to work that way.
Yeah. So now we know how we built this new microservice, but how can we be sure that this microservice matches the level of excellence required to be part of our solution? So every time we create a new product in our solution, we rely on 4 tech pillars, which are industry standards. Our products needs to be stable, secure, fast, and sustainable. And that's exactly what we tried to do for NoCode.
Yes, we tried to, as we are on the tech team, we try to follow these 4 pillars to prioritize the solution we want to create and the process we want to adopt to have high quality standard development in NoCode. So in this presentation, we do not have time to present you everything, but I will do a little focus on 3 things. So the first one is a monitoring. So thanks to Grafana, we created a free primary dashboard that help us to not be blind anymore on what happened in our automation, so in Make. So the first dashboard is a scenario usage. We design a list of scenario standards, and this first dashboard helps us to know if every builder follows these standards. For example, one of these standards is every scenario as an owner, every automation as an owner. The second dashboard is an error handling dashboard. It helps us to have statistics about our errors, and it also helps us to find critical scenario with bad behavior. And with this dashboard, we can easily find a way to ameliorate our system and fix an automation. And finally, we have a consumption dashboard that helps us to know the consumption of our automations. We also have our own alerting system. As I say, we have every scenario, every automation as an owner. So now when a scenario enters in as an error, every owner received an individual notification. And we created also a collective channel. This channel, it helps us to know when we have a very important behavior, very important error. For example, an error accumulation on an automation, a service outage, or a big increase of our consumption.
And the last part that we will discuss today is about the logging. So previously, all the logs generated by make.com were stored in Google Sheets. So as you can easily imagine, if you are in a debugging process and you are trying to correlate logs between what happened in the NoCode scenarios and what happened into your microservice, it was really difficult to do this correlation. So what we did was create a new service called the log collector, and it helped us to push the logs from Make into the same Elastic server that we use for all the logs from our applications. And now we end up having one single source of log for all our systems, and it's way better for debugging purpose and for developer experience. And we now we have a better way to know what happens in our system, which is vital in software development. So let's wrap up what we saw. So now we have a new service which is fully integrated into our solution. It's improving our business performance a lot. So just a few figures. So in the last 3 months since we started this project, we generated 18,000 conversations, and it ended up booking 3,000 trainees. So you can imagine the amount of time saved for our on-sites. It's also matching our tech standards. And since it's done with NoCode, it's easily customizable to match other use cases. So that's a win-win. So that will be it for us. So thanks a lot for listening to us. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact us using these email addresses or directly on LinkedIn.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.